somebody, I just started printing Subgenius pamphlets for Bob, and somebody came up to me and said, "You better look at this. It's just like Subgenius." And I wanted to kill whoever had done it. And then I realized it predated Subgenius by a long shot, and also that it was absolutely nothing like Subgenius, because it was the Discordian faith seemed to be much more forgiving of the normals, or something. I mean,
the first edition of the Principia was 5 copies, and it was run off on the Xerox machine of District Attorney Jim Garrison in New Orleans. After office hours, Jim Garrison has never known his role in the
Is that true?
That's true, yes.
Praise Bob! All right. Yeah, yeah. Well, did Kerry Thornley have something to do with that?
Parts of the Principia were written by Kerry Thornley, the second Oswald, as he's known among his friends.
Yeah, oh, he's a famous Subgenius. Avoided by many. And beloved, oh beloved.
Most of the Principia was written by Malachus the Younger, the omnibenevolent polyfather of virginity and gold. I wrote a few parts myself, and so did Josh the Dill, and Onrak the Backwoods, and Camden Benares, and other Discordian popes and saints. The main inspiration, of course, was Emperor Norton.
Praise Emperor Norton! Fall down on your knees! You might describe who Emperor Norton was and is in our hearts.
Well, Emperor Norton was a Jewish businessman born in Cape Town, South Africa, who immigrated to San Francisco in the 1840s. He was horrified by the vigilantes. He thought that the democracy was collapsing into mob rule, and he decided the United States needed an emperor. And since he'd been keeping it a closely guarded secret all his life that he was the illegitimate son of the King of France, he decided to announce it publicly and make himself Emperor of the United States. A while later, he made himself Protector of Mexico, and towards the end he added King of the Jews, which is why he's not buried in a Jewish cemetery. The rabbis decided that was blasphemy, so the Freemasons buried him instead. He printed his own currency, and he got everybody in San Francisco to accept it, which just goes to show what you can accomplish. If the proper man is in the right place at the right time, as Lao Tzu says, anything can happen. Emperor Norton's currency was not only good in his lifetime, it's worth even more now. People pay fabulous. They'll pay $1,000 for one of Emperor Norton's 50-cent notes, as long as it's signed with his hand, a genuine Emperor Norton note. He ruled for 23 years. He tried to stop the Civil War. He ordered Jefferson Davis and Abraham Lincoln to come to San Francisco and submit to arbitration by himself. And then he excommunicated them when they wouldn't come.
And what year was this?
This was from 1857 to 1880.
Good Lord.
As Malachus the Younger says, everybody understands Mickey Mouse. Few understand Einstein, hardly anybody understands James Joyce, and nobody understands Emperor Norton. Live like him.
Except Bob Dobbs, friends, who doesn't need to understand Emperor Norton, but just may have been him. There have always been Bobs. Not always by that name. Are the Masons really demon worshippers?
The Masons are responsible for secularism, humanism, democracy, Jeffersonian civil liberties, and all the hideous forces that the religious conservatives oppose. All the forces that have made America the richest and freest country in the world, they all come from Masonic theory. And I can see why the religious oppose them. As Thomas Jefferson said, I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility to every form of tyranny over the mind of man. That is why the clergy oppose me. All that is on the Jefferson Monument in Washington, except the last sentence. They left that out in the interest of brevity.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what they all
Primus Illuminatus.